Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever new BattleBots series of mine called Battlebots What If, where we will be discussing some trivial questions of BattleBots, but hopefully have some fun doing it. Joining me in this one, we got a good friend Spin Doctor, a major Bronco fan in Oblivion Prime, and my good buddy Pory. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, everything's fine. Just
Uh,
hope the Bronco wins this as well.
yeah, I mean, I'm doing pretty good. You're gonna get sued by Marvel because don't they have like a show now called What If or something?
Yeah.
It's like what if
Yeah,
what if the Hulk had a dildo or something? I don't know the premise of it. I think it's like goofy scenarios
Yeah,
or something.
let's turn this into a Disney Plus show as well.
Yeah.
We
Or is
gotta
this
sell,
gonna be on Disney Plus?
we gotta sell it to Disney. These are ABC seasons, y'all.
Yeah, BattleBots was technically a Disney property. Molly McGrath was a Disney princess, basically.
Yeah.
I think that was her name. I don't know. The chick that wasn't Kenny Florian and Chris Rose.
Yeah, whoever the fuck she was.
No, I forget. I literally forget that she was on the show, and that there was a second one.
All right, so
Everyone forgot about her.
yeah, literally every female staff member in the show besides like Jenny Taft are immediately forgotten about.
I mean, like, other than Jenny Taft, no other female cast member ever had a prominent role.
Well, like Jessica Chobot
from season one,
Jessica
season two, season
Chobot
three.
was Jessica Chobot was fairly had a fairly big role.
Allison Flanagan recurs in my memory sometimes. I feel that was like one who interviewed in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, like the interviewers were also somewhat big, but not as big as like Taft.
No, but I literally was researching BattleBots a few weeks ago, and like the hosts of season 1 and 2 are two different people. I thought it was the same person for both seasons. I thought it was the same girl, and then they're just like, oh, it's two different people, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So in this episode of BattleBots What If,
Sorry, continue with your show.
in this episode we will discuss the ABC season, so season 2015 and 2016. We'll be discussing what would happen if the bots that lost first round in the postseason actually made it to the second round. So in a sense, like what would happen if, say, Radioactive beat Tombstone and all the other bots that lost in the first round went to the quarterfinals in 2015. So, and we'll basically discuss who we think would win the season in bracket style. So, yeah, let's start it off with the 2015 season, where we have these 8 bots. We have the 16 seed Radioactive, the 8 seed Overdrive, the 13 seed Plan X, the 12 seed Warhead, the 15 seed Chomp, the 7 seed Warrior Clan, the 14 seed Hypershock, and the 6 seed Lockjaw. So the first fight we have is Radioactive and Overdrive. Now, Radioactive.
I thought that was reality for a second.
Who did you think was reality?
Sorry.
Hypershock?
I thought Hypershock was reality for a second.
I mean, it looks pretty similar, honestly. Like a drum.
Yeah, like they have a similar look. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Radioactive, if
got
you
the big metal drum.
yeah. Radioactive, if you know the team from Robot Wars called Behemoth, or Behemoth, however the hell you like to say it.
Behemoth.
How do you build a bot as pretty good as Behemoth, and then come to BattleBots and build Radioactive?
Yeah, how can you build...
Well, okay, so they wanted to enter Behemoth from what I hear, but ABC was run by idiots, so like they rejected a lot of they rejected Mo for looking too much like Tombstone. Like they rejected it because it was just they were just like, oh, it's a wedge, so they showed up with this thing instead.
But, there's such a even if they couldn't enter Behemoth itself, like there's such a massive difference in quality.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
Behemoth is a pretty solid bot, and then you have Radioactive.
Yeah, like how do you go from like one of the most known bots in Robot Wars to a plastic hammer bot?
This is basically if Paul Ventimiglia goes from a Bite Force to Rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage's gonna have that comeback though. You know?
Yeah. On the other hand, we have Overdrive ran by Christian Carlberg, who is known for some big bots such as Minion and Overkill, and is now part of Team Yeti, which is pretty big for a lot of people.
You know, I
Yeah,
have to
that's
say the
awesome.
same thing. Like, Christian Karlberg had some amazing robots in the classic era of BattleBots. And in the reboot, it's been pretty meh, if you get my point. Like
Oh, yeah.
Overdrive, Mecha Rampage, and stuff. There have been like meh, decent bots. Nothing
yeah.
close
Yeah.
to how well you used to do in the classic days.
Yeah, a lot of the bots that were like the famed bots from like Comedy Central didn't do well. A big example of this would be Christian Carlberg, as Oblivion pointed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as we've discussed, Radioactive is a plastic hammer bot. For some reason, the radioactive signs move freely. I don't know why. And
It's probably to give it more because it's like a pretty big robot. It probably just moves like that just so it actually moves a little better. Like if it was like
yeah,
one solid unit, it would probably move a lot worse.
yeah.
But yeah.
And Overdrive was kind of a lame, kind of
So
lame.
if we're talking about the fight,
Yeah,
Radioactive versus Overdrive, I think it's pretty obvious which bot would win in this scenario.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so obviously Radioactive.
yeah. So I'm guessing we're all gonna go Overdrive for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Overdrive because I don't even know if
Overdrive is a
Radioactive can
decent
self-right.
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it can. So.
I mean, in its one fight that it actually fired the hammer, it was incredibly slow, at least
Yeah.
from the shots that they showed. I don't even know if it could self-fight realistically.
Yeah, I don't think I unless it was a fluke and they improved the power of that hammer, like I don't see that even being able to self-right. But also, Overdrive's like really maneuverable and it goes really fast and it would drive circles around Radioactive probably.
And for 2015 standards, Overdrive was a pretty good bot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Just
definitely.
got a tough draw.
Mm-hmm. All right. And next matchup we have Plan X versus Warhead. Plan X ran by Lisa Winter, who is most known for Tentamushi, and in ABC 2016 season, Mega Tento, who won a bullshit decision against Stinger.
And then lost a pretty bad decision against Poison Arrow, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I would have given
Yeah,
that to Tento,
yeah, I
honestly.
would have done that to Tento too. Me and Pory were discussing that like a few months ago, saying that Tento should have won that fight actually.
Yeah. Like, it was close, don't get me wrong, but like I feel Poison Arrow had the edge on that.
And then on the other hand, we have Warhead, who is most known for Warhead back in Comedy Central days.
Razor.
And Razor too. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this matchup? So, since this is a horizontal versus vertical
Again,
square
I
matchup.
do think this is kind of obvious. I don't see what Plan X could do.
This one,
Like, Plan X's spinner, even it looks so fragile. I don't see how it could hold up to a single hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this one's gonna be a
Right.
slaughter. My only question is Warhead confident enough to go with their dinosaur head, or do they just want to tear into this thing?
Yeah.
Well, the dinosaur head didn't
Either
exist
way-
yet at this
I don't
point.
think the dinosaur head exists. I
did
think
it
it was a
not?
2016 creation.
Yeah, it premiered in 2016.
Oh,
Now,
But
my
either
okay,
way,
then Plan X just gets murdered.
my big question
Yeah.
is how much is that side armor of Plan X gonna get fucked up? Because as we saw with
I mean,
Rex-
even
when
Rex
it faced-
messed it up.
when
Yeah,
it faced
Rex messed it up a
Rex,
ton.
Rex destroyed the armor in like 2 hits. Right?
Yeah.
It was gone. It was shattered. And
Yeah.
Warhead, I feel, should be as powerful as Rex, if not slightly more powerful. Being a horizontal, so I think it should definitely be able to absolutely rip apart Plan X here.
Oh yeah.
Let me defend
Yeah.
Rex for a
I
second.
mean, I don't see.
That thing is super powerful.
Yeah, I don't see a
Rex is a
scenario where.
powerful robot. Like Rex is a
Oh.
powerful robot,
Oh yeah,
but I would say Warhead should
Yeah.
be equally powerful.
Oh yeah, Warhead should be at least equally powerful to
Yeah.
Rex. So I'm guessing we're going for
Yeah.
Warhead on.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario where Plan X wins that. Also, fun fact: Plan X is the closest we got to Biohazard in the reboot, technically.
What?
How so?
How? What is your reasoning on that?
What is
Okay,
what?
because the base of Plan X is actually it's a heavyweight kit that was made by Carlo of Biohazard.
All right then, fair enough.
I mean,
Next fight, we have Chomp versus Warrior Clan. Chomp, who is captained by Zoe Stevenson. And if you notice, this does not look like the Chomp we've grown to know in the BattleBots series, where it's like this big ass rectangular prism bot or this walker bot. That's because this was the first iteration of Chomp we saw, which was this weird ass crusher bot.
it was a basic Razor wannabe.
Yeah. It wanted to be.
I have one question.
What's up?
Why'd you use a picture of Warrior Dragon?
Because I could. And because they're the same thing, Pory, that's why.
Yeah, they didn't have the
Warrior-
drone in season 1.
They had the
I
drone.
mean, it's close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough.
And
And
you have Warrior SKF, Warrior Clan, Warrior Dragon. They're the same bot
yeah.
with a bit of upgrades, I guess.
And as we
Yeah.
kind of discussed, we have Warrior Clan here, who in ABC season 1 season, as Pory likes to point out, there was no drone in that season, but it did have 2 wedge bots, which one of them got kind of
Yeah.
fucked up by Nightmare, which is always fun.
No, I wonder because when you look at Warrior Clans or Warrior Dragons Wedge, it looks really low. It looks like it's
Yeah.
sticking to the floor. But it never faced a bot with like really low ground clearance.
Yeah, that
I
was
wonder how low it actually is.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing about Warrior Clan. It was not none of his fights were like tests of ground game. Like the only bot that kind of tested its ground game was like Hypershock, and that wasn't really a test either because Hypershock was just
I mean,
driving.
Hypershock in 2016 had no ground game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just ripping his asshole open. It wasn't really like getting underneath it.
Yeah.
But in terms of who would win this fight, this is also a pretty obvious decision, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, nothing against Chomp, but
This
I mean-
this version of Chomp sucks ass. Although we had
and again, for 2015 standards, Warrior Clan was a pretty good bot, I feel. Like, it wasn't very reliable,
Yeah.
but it was a pretty powerful robot.
Plus its flipper
Especially if you
actually
take a
works.
look at... Yeah, because, again, if you take Warrior SKF, its flipper was pretty powerful. It's not Bronco Hydra powerful, but it's definitely like 6 feet in the air powerful, and it's more than enough here to beat Chomp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Warrior's biggest issue wasn't really that it was bad. It was the fact that, like, even at the point of it competing in 2015, it was like a 10-year-old robot at that point. Like, it
Yeah.
just was just an outdated robot, pretty much.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel the major problem with Warrior Clan, Warrior Dragon is its reliability.
Mhm.
Because even
Oh, yeah.
otherwise, it did do decently. Like, its spinner was decently powerful. Its flipper, again, was pretty powerful as well. It's just that its reliability really let it down.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
definitely agree.
I'm guessing we're all agreeing that Warrior Clan will win this fight.
These last 3
Yeah,
fights
yeah.
have been like complete slaughters.
I feel like this next one's gonna change that, perhaps.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
this
probably going to
next
be
one
the
is
toughest
an
decision,
interesting
toughest
one.
call between the two. So we
Oh yeah,
have
definitely.
2 bots that have been here every single season since the reboot. We have Hypershock and Lockjaw, who both have undergone major changes throughout each and every season of BattleBots. We have Hypershock, who was a drum with kind of like weird lifting forks, if I remember correctly, or something to that extent.
Yeah,
Yeah. some sort of lifting mechanism.
And
And the same thing with Lockjaw as well, really.
and we have Lockjaw, who's kind of just like a biting, lifting bot. He was kind of Donald Hudson was kind of just riding off the dissector design, but without any hammers. Who
Carcass 2 design, baby.
Yeah, Lockjaw, Donald Hudson, who is known with bots such as Tazbot and Dissector.
Carcass 2.
Yeah.
How could you forget
I have
Root
to watch
Canal?
my next. Yeah, root canal. Watch my next video to find out more about Carcass 2. Self-plug. Sorry.
So, how do you guys feel about this fight?
Spin Doctor, what do you think? You haven't gotten a word in.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm not. I have a feeling that Lockjaw's gonna do something similar to what they did with Yeti and just grab that drum and try to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference between
I feel like it's gonna
Hypershock
go
and
better
Yeti,
because-
Hypershock is way less reliable,
Oh, yeah.
especially 2015.
Yeah.
So that was my concern.
Yeti
Like,
lasted
which one is going to
for
die
2 minutes.
first?
Yeah, it's basically on the
Like,
sense of
Lockjaw wasn't particularly unreliable in 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like Bite Force versus Hypershock in 2015,
Mhm.
right? Because Hypershock would probably dominate the first minute or so, but then Lockjaw would be able to grapple it, and then Hypershock would eventually die. So I think I would give the win to Lockjaw.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, all Lockjaw has to do is not die of reliability or just get absolutely murdered by the drum.
So you're going with
I think
Lockjaw too?
because Donald Hudson is a pretty good driver,
Uh,
Lockjaw should be able to avoid that for at least a minute or two. And by that time, Hypershock would definitely have smoked out.
Yeah. So
yeah. Here's the thing, though. Lockjaw wasn't the most reliable either. I mean, it burnt out in the overhaul fight.
that is true.
You can make that argument. But I would
Ooh.
probably lean towards Lockjaw just because they seem slightly more reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have our final four here. We got
Jesus Christ.
We got Overdrive, Warhead, Warrior Clan, and Lockjaw. In our left side, we have Overdrive versus Warhead. Overdrive, who just came off a win against the very threatening Radioactive, who beat Tombstone.
Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah. Warhead, who just beat Plan X. So, how do you guys feel about this matchup? Because this is a very interesting matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Hear me out. I feel like Overdrive would have a bit of a, I wouldn't say advantage, but I feel like they could hold up the horizontal because the wedge and all that.
I think this would be something similar to Warhead versus Stinger. Again, Warhead is pretty powerful, and it could definitely take off the wheels. But Overdrive, with its a solid wedge, should be able to deflect Warhead long enough to probably break the weapon or throw it out, or even control the match completely. So again, it's a close fight. If Warhead can take off the wheels, then it should win pretty easily. But I do feel Overdrive is pretty well driven as well. So I think it should definitely be able to just keep deflecting Warhead, and eventually win the fight.
Yeah. What do you got on this spin?
I don't know what to think. See, like, Overhaul has the design advantage. I think it is just a wedge and it's fighting horizontal, but we haven't seen much of Overdrive. We don't know its really flipping power or just how well it can survive hits. You know, he got murked by Witch Doctor, and it took out Chomp, which doesn't really deliver hits.
True.
I think I'm gonna
That's great.
lean Warhead, just on damage and what we've seen of it.
That's a pretty fair decision as well. It all comes down to Overdrive's wedge durability. If the wedge isn't durable, then Warhead wins this hands down. But if it can hold up, then I think Overdrive should win this.
So, are you going Overdrive or Warhead on this, Oblivion?
I'll go Overdrive, and Spin is going Warhead. So now it's you and Pory.
Yeah. What you got, Pory?
Uh, they both lose. The winner's the other side of the bracket. You know. No, I'm gonna probably say Warhead, but it could go either way. I want to say Warhead though because I feel like Overdrive isn't as durable as Stinger.
Yeah, this is kind of a close one for me because both these bots have advantages and disadvantages over the other. But I do feel Spin does make a good argument that we haven't seen a lot from Overdrive,
Yeah,
like especially the Wedge
Yeah, that's
version of
pretty true.
Overdrive. So I think I'm gonna lean Warhead
we
for
saw
this.
even less of the other one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lean towards Warhead in this one, but I feel like it'll be a decently close fight.
Yeah, it could either be just again Overdrive deflecting Warhead, or it could be Overdrive deflecting Warhead and then eventually losing the wedge and then getting ripped to shreds. So it could go either way, but I'm fine with the with the Warhead decision as well.
Yeah. For our right side of the semifinals, we have Warrior Clan versus Lockjaw. Two big
God,
two big team names in this fight as Warrior Clan hailing from the Waiachi family and Lockjaw hailing from Donald Hudson. So this is a kind of big matchup.
This is a pretty close matchup as well. Um, see. This all comes down if Warrior Clan or Warrior Dragon is reliable enough. I think I would give the fight to Warrior Clan because I don't really see how low Lockjaw could be in this configuration. It could be really low, but both of these bots haven't really tested their ground game. And just in terms of which bot has the better offensive capabilities, I have to go with Warrior Clan. But Warrior Clan's reliability could also be a problem here. So this is a really, really close match. I would probably listen to someone else's argument first before making my own prediction.
You
Okay, I have an argument.
yeah.
Warrior Clan lost to Ghost Raptor. There's my argument. Thank you.
That's actually pretty fair. Like,
You make a strong point.
to be fair,
I mean, Ghost Raptor didn't even have its spinner at that point. It just was a lifter. Like in Warrior Clan just like died. The only reason I'm saying it would beat Chomp is because it would probably Chomp would probably die first.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I feel like Warrior Clan plus Lockjaw is pretty low with its game, and knowing Donald, I'm sure he has some sort of attachment in mind for this fight.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he is a pretty good strategist.
Considering Warrior Clan is technically a horizontal, he might bring in the horizontal.
No, he wouldn't bother with that because it's not a good
doubt.
so.
Did he have the horizontal thing in 2015?
Oh, he's been using the horizontal strategy since Dissector.
Yeah, he's had the horizontal strategy for a while. I'm pretty sure he used it against Brutality.
Yeah, he used it against Brutality. He used it against Tombstone. Tombstone the first time they fought. When he fought Tombstone as Root Canal.
Yeah, as much as I want to go with Warrior Clan, I do have to go with Lockjaw with this one for this fight.
What do you got on this, Spin?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Lockjaw for the same reason as I think Apollo. Sorry. Yeah. Warrior Clan lost to Ghost Raptor. That was as a lifter wedge. So I think I'm gonna go Lockjaw.
I'm just
I completely forgot that fight existed.
Pory, I'm guessing you're going with Lockjaw too.
Yeah, I think Lockjaw might just wing it. You know?
All right, so we have our 2015 quote-unquote championship locked in. We have the 13 seed Warhead versus the who the fuck? It's the 12 seed. Warhead's the 12 seed. Warhead was the 12 seed. With the 12 seed Warhead versus the 6 seed Lockjaw. What do you guys have on this?
Honestly, this is gonna be for a finals. This is gonna be pretty one-sided for Lockjaw, I feel, because again, Lockjaw has that super sturdy anti-horizontal wedge,
That is
and
true.
Warhead has been shown to be susceptible towards anti-horizontal wedges before. Yeah, Lockjaw's probably just gonna drive into it repeatedly until Warhead eventually breaks, or for the full 3 minutes. So I have to go with Lockjaw for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a fight where Lockjaw would use the ass plow, but like, also a thing that really worries me is that like those wheels are free real estate, man. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Warhead could at least nip off a few of them, but it's all
Maybe, but
kind of comes down to
I
driving.
feel Donald Hudson's driving should be good enough. It has
I
six
mean,
wheels and it has 4 to 6 wheels, I believe. So even if they do lose one, they should be like the difference here is the Lockjaw's wheels are inflated, right? They're not just solid wheels. So I'm not sure how losing one wheel would affect it. In Lockjaw versus Endgame, when it had 4 wheels, losing one wheel was just really bad.
yeah, but I remember when I fought Tombstone, it lost 2 wheels
Yeah,
and one
that
shot
is
from a
true.
horizontal. So I don't
I
think that
doubt.
it'll be that one sided.
But the main difference is that Ray Billings used his spin thing where he showed his back and then he turned it on the last moment and clipped off Lockjaw's wheels.
Yeah,
I doubt Warhead could do that. And Warhead is definitely not as maneuverable or as well
that's
driven
true.
as Tombstone
That is fair.
because Tombstone is pretty maneuverable and pretty well driven. Warhead has a lot of gyro. I doubt it could really take advantage of Lockjaw's wheels here.
Yeah. Well, what do you got on this, Spin Doctor?
Yeah, I think what happens. I think what's gonna happen is just Lockjaw's just gonna plow and just control the whole fight. Warhead could nip off some wheels, but Lockjaw has like 6 wheels. I don't know how much of an impact that's gonna have. I think this is gonna be pretty one-sided for Donald Hudson's plow.
So
The
I'm
only problem I can see here is the 2015-2016 judging criteria, where if you
that's
just
that
defensively
is
dominate,
Well,
like
2015, it wasn't bullshit yet. They
yeah.
made it bullshit because
2015
I
wasn't.
Fight
mean,
Force.
Then again,
you could
2015.
always have something like Lockjaw versus Brutus, where Lockjaw did the same thing. It just went in with plow, and Brutus somehow won the fight. So
Yeah,
it could
but
Yeah.
happen,
in
but I
2015,
think Lockjaw.
2015.
well, the reason why they made it bullshit in 2016 is because Fight Force essentially won the championship by
Yeah,
being a wedge.
because
Like
they
that.
Yeah.
wanted a spinner to win, and a wedge won. And what killed the classic era of Battlebots was the wedge, right? Because of the boring fights caused by a wedge. So they
Yeah,
did want to have another wedge win again, which I get, but yeah, I think the main difference here, Lockjaw versus Brutus was a pretty boring fight.
It was a
Okay, there
terrible
was
oh
fight.
yeah,
very little done in that fight. But Lockjaw versus Warhead, when Warhead collides with the
Yeah.
back plow, it's going to go flying. And that is going to put on much more of a show for Lockjaw than it did against Brutus.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm guessing you all are going for Lockjaw on this one.
yeah.
Yep. Donald Hudson winning is what, his seventh giant nut?
Yeah. I'd actually go for the hot take here. I'd go for Warhead in this one, but majority rules, so
Man.
Lockjaw is the 2015 champion in my series. And off we
Let's
go
go.
to the 2016
Okay,
series.
now 2016 is going to be much
Oh
more
my
interesting, in
god.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I'm excited
And
for.
oh no, Bronco lost. How could it?
We have Escape Velocity, the 2015 champ Lockjaw, Overhaul, Ice Wave, Ringmaster, Captain Shredderator, Stinger, Lucky, Chromefly, who I definitely didn't predict to beat Bronco, Ghost Raptor, Blacksmith, Chromefly. No, complete control, complete control.
Oh, you're thinking about Chromefly a lot.
Witch, Witch, Witch Doctor, Cobalt, Son of Waiachi, and Warrior
And
Clan.
Chromefly.
So
I remember during the show they actually hinted at Son of Waiachi versus Warrior Dragon, where they talked about how if Son of Waiachi beat Poison Arrow, there would be a Waiachi versus Waiachi fight. And so I was expecting that to be a foreshadowing for Waiachi beating Poison Arrow, but then Poison Arrow beat Son of Waiachi anyway.
Yeah.
That
So
was a big upset.
our first matchup is the 32 seed Escape Velocity versus the 17 seed Lockjaw. Escape Velocity being a weak ass flipper, and Lockjaw looking kind of new this season with a little spring loaded flipper slash clamper bot, and had a great fight against Yeti. I just want to point out, love the Lockjaw Yeti fight.
You know, but technically, if Lockjaw did win 2015 in our fictional universe, it would get a top 4 seed. But
Yeah.
this is just speculation. Escape Velocity versus yeah, this is again a pretty obvious fight.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we don't even
Like,
need to
there's nothing Escape Velocity could. Yeah, we don't even need to discuss this. There's nothing Escape Velocity can do here.
the champ.
Okay, here's my argument. Here's my argument.
Here we go, Pory. Pory's about to say
no.
something. What you got, buddy?
Okay, Escape Velocity is neat.
That's an amazing reason. You're right. Escape Velocity wins 100%. I mean,
solid points here.
Escape Velocity looks kind of solid. Like, it lasted, like, what, 30 seconds against Tombstone?
Before
was
we all say
decent.
Lockjaw is going to win this fight, though, I just want to say I don't think Escape Velocity should have been the 32 seed, in my opinion.
No, it shouldn't have. I mean, it got a win by KO. Like, that's
decent.
It's good.
I feel Chromefly. In fact, I feel Chromefly was much more deserving of the 32nd seed because Chromefly didn't
Even they
like,
want
at
to
least
fight
Escape
though.
Velocity was
Chromefly didn't
because at least
Chromefly
no
didn't
because
do
at
shit
least
in its fight, well.
Escape Velocity was aggressive in its fight. Right.
Right.
Overhead. Overdrive lost its weapon, but it was still like Escape Velocity was pretty aggressive. It was pretty controlling. Chromefly did nothing. The very first hit it lost its weapon, and it won because Bucktooth Bill burnt out. Like, Chromefly definitely deserved to be the 32nd seed.
Well, I mean, maybe BattleBots just hated Elon Musk. I don't know. Maybe that's why they made Escape Velocity the 32nd seed.
I think they didn't want, like, was there a possibility they did not want Bronco versus Escape Velocity? Just because they don't like Control Bot versus Control Bot.
That's a fair...
That
could be worth arguing.
Because the selection committee has shown that seeding is not just based on performance.
Oh, no,
it's also based on
the seeding
what kind of interesting fight they can form. So
they gave Ghost Raptor the fucking 17 seed. The seeding's bullshit.
Here's the thing. What I think might be the case is maybe they expected Escape Velocity to actually go into that fight with the spinner, and then like have Tombstone like send it flying into a wall. Maybe they wanted that for TV or something.
Yeah. Tombstone to fuck up a mini bot.
Which also explains my theories for the play-in rumbles at the beginning of season 2, which you already know about.
Tombstone versus Roomba.
What?
Escape Velocity's minibot. It's a Roomba.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, that's the next fight, I guess.
Yeah. Next fight, we got Overhaul versus Ice Wave. Overhaul kind of made a decent run in 2015, going into the quarterfinals, debatably winning losing.
Should have been by first.
Yeah, debatably losing a fight it should have won in the quarterfinals against the 2015 champ Bite Force, and fought Lockjaw twice, which was kind of fun. On the other side, we got Ice Wave, who fucks shit up, but always knows when to die. Ice Wave lost to Nightmare in the 2016 season by just randomly dying. So, yeah.
The receiver was bumped off, if I remember correctly. In the very first big hit, the receiver either bumped off or it just stopped working.
Yeah, I remember someone commented in like the Ice Wave Nightmare fight that Mark Davitz made a comment about the fight. I forgot what exactly he said.
I remember someone made a comment saying that Ice Wave was a glass cannon, and then someone replied to that saying that it was just a receiver. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. Like, Ice Wave is pretty durable, especially with its wedge. Like, Ice Wave's wedge does not get enough credit.
You know what? I'm gonna just say it. Overhaul wins.
What?
I would say. I think the deciding factor is Overhaul versus Cobalt. And Overhaul was, in my opinion, at least dominated that fight until it just burnt out. And I think the same thing would happen here. Ice Wave is definitely as powerful as Cobalt, if not slightly more powerful. Overhaul would probably get the first couple of hits in, deflect Ice Wave a bunch, but then Ice Wave would eventually just cleave off the grappler setup, and then Overhaul would just die. So it would be a combination of Overhaul versus Valkyrie and Overhaul versus Cobalt. So I have to
But
go
here's
Ice Wave here.
here's the thing though. Cobalt is invertible.
But Cobalt wasn't flipped over in
is
that
fair.
fight. Like Ice,
They got flipped over, didn't
much more reach. Did? I don't think so.
I thought Cobalt. Oh, it at least got like a half a suplex on the Cobalt. Then
I mean, maybe, but
if it flips Ice Wave, it's game over.
The difference here is Ice Wave spinner is much higher. It's a mid cutter essentially, so it should be able to exactly hit the grappler of Overhaul. So if it does go head to head, I feel like grappler is going to come off in like the first couple of hits, and after that, Overhaul is going to really struggle to really get a good lift or suplex on Ice Wave, and Overhaul will just burn out after that.
Spin Doctor, what you got on this?
I have one thing to say. I have one thing to say. Overhaul only needs one good flip.
That's what I'm saying.
That's easier said than done. Like a lot of bots just
That
need one
is-
flip.
If Ghost Raptor can get us flipped, then Overhaul can.
Okay, Ghost Raptor had a wedge. To be fair.
Overhaul.
Wait,
has
okay.
force. Overhaul has
Here's
force.
my argument.
Overhaul
Here's
does
my
have
argument.
force,
Ice Wave lost to Ghost Raptor. There's my argument.
I mean, also you're wrong. Ice Wave does have a self-ride in 2016. It has a one-time use piston, so it can self-ride once. So Overhaul
If it
does need to
works.
get at least. It should work, like in theory at least. And even though
And
it's
isn't
not
it only on the? Isn't it only on the front though? Like if it gets flipped onto like the back side or something, like isn't it
I'm pretty-
screwed?
was
Still?
it on the side?
I thought it was
Well,
just
like,
on
it's
like
not
the
like
front
Overhaul-
side. Like
But even if it gets flipped on with front, it can just spin the blade that would just turn it around slightly. Because the blade won't
Yeah.
push it over, but it does create enough force to like push it around slightly.
so
as long
Overhaul
as
needs
Ice
two
Wave can just
flips.
use it. The Overhaul needs two flips, which again
Well,
is
like-
much harder said than done.
So
Sorry, much easier said than done because you have bots like Ice Wave, like Son of Waiachi, Captain Shredder that have been flipped like what, once or twice in their entire career. It's pretty hard to flip big horizontal spinners.
So, Pory, I'm guessing you're staying on Overhaul.
You bet.
Oblivion, I'm guessing you're staying on Ice Wave.
Yeah.
Spin, what you got?
Well, like, Overhaul only needs like one good flip. Then it's just gonna control the fight. So it does like Ice Wave does in theory have that self-rider, but it's not like Overhaul's gonna flip it over and just start dancing around the corner to let Ice Wave self-right. Overhaul's gonna be aggressive, I imagine.
Yeah.
Counterpoint
after
Overhaul's reliability. Because Overhaul did die multiple times. It died against Cobalt after just a couple of hits.
But also in terms of reliability, Ice Wave was very unreliable in 2016.
Yeah, Ice Wave
its
was-
Sub-Zero fight, its weapon
Yeah.
lasted like 15 seconds.
Yeah, that is
Be
true.
fair,
Maybe a little longer.
Sub-Zero had this massive thick wedge, which Overhaul doesn't. Overhaul has much better catch points for the spinner. Again, like the grappler. And if the grappler comes off of Overhaul, then Ice Wave is definitely winning that fight. Especially the 2016 judging criteria, which you have to keep in mind. Damage is weighed so much more than aggression and control. So as long
Oh yeah,
as
if it
Ice
goes
Wave-
to the judges.
Yeah, like I don't know if this will reach the judges or not. I think it should. And when it does reach the judges, Ice Wave is definitely winning just because of 2016's pretty bad judging system.
Here's the thing.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way this fight is going to reach a decision without Ice Wave knocking off the grappler. And once it does, then there's nothing Ice Wave can really, there's nothing Overhaul can really do to change the judge's opinion.
Here's
because
the-
damage is just massively in Ice Wave's favor.
That's true, but here's the thing. Regarding Ice Wave Self-Rider, we haven't seen its Self-Rider in use, so we honestly have no
Yeah.
clue if it's like a working Self-Rider or not. So
Even then, I highly doubt Overhaul would flip Ice Wave over even once. Okay, because one more, and Ice Wave's wedge is pretty low. Like Ice Wave, especially since Overhaul, I assume will be going with some sort of anti-horizontal wedge, which is indefinitely not as low as the regular configuration. And Ice Wave's wedge is pretty low. Like it even got underneath the Bite Force's anti-horizontal configuration. I think it got under Scorpios like once or twice. I don't remember that though. Um, Even if Overhaul does stop the blade, Ice Wave should be able to wedge around Overhaul long enough.
All right, so we have
But I think one thing we can agree on, though, is that this fight probably is not going to go to the judges either way. Like, one of them is going to die.
Yeah, that is true.
Eventually, and in that case, Ice Wave's spinner may be unreliable, but Ice Wave's drive is not. On the other hand, Overhaul's drive is.
I
pretty
mean, the Nightmare
unreliable.
fight makes it differ.
That was the receiver getting thrown off, which is I doubt
That
it's gonna
is
happen
true.
twice.
That is especially against a bot like Overhaul, where it doesn't have like a extremely powerful weapon to boot.
Yeah, so I highly doubt Ice Wave's Ice Wave's drive system has never stopped, not that I know of. Overhaul's drive system has stopped in so many fights, ranging from 2016 to 2018 even, almost every season. So Overhaul definitely has the massive disadvantage here in terms of drive system, which is why I think Ice Wave would win. And another thing, since we
mean-
have four members here, if there's a split decision, what do we do?
I'll throw it to
The
green.
coin.
I'll throw it to green. If he doesn't reply, I'll just eliminate my vote.
Randomizer.
I'll just eliminate my vote, and then majority rules.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So,
Okay, counter argument. Overhaul is neat.
So spin. Oblivion has voted Ice Wave. Pory has voted Overhaul. What is your vote?
I'm gonna go Overhaul on the grounds that
Let's
in
go!
and it's just gonna not let
No,
Ice Wave
no.
win.
My
Right.
dude!
Well, then Overhaul is winning because even if Apollo votes for Ice Wave, it would be a split, and he would let go of his own vote.
Well, that's
So
only if green
Overhaul
doesn't.
moves on.
That's only if green doesn't give me a reply to what.
Oh yeah, but are you voting for Overhaul or are you voting for Ice Wave?
So you're keeping your vote for Ice Wave.
Ah, so you'd have to ask Green then.
Count the green.
I haven't. Hold on. I haven't voted Ice Wave yet.
Are we
was-
convincing you?
I thought
This is the tough.
That's it. We're booting up. We're booting up RA2. We're gonna figure it out once and for all.
This is the tough part about this fight because both bots they had a lot of problems in 2016 season. This was not their best season for either of them. So
Civilian arc. You like anime, right?
yes. Oh no, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I bet anything that Markovitz doesn't like anime, or if he does, he likes like mediocre anime like Bleach. Like, I bet he doesn't watch the good shit like the Akame got Kill and the Detective Conan and stuff. I bet he watches the generic bullshit like Dinosaur King. Say I'm wrong.
Okay, here's my entire argument for why Ice Wave would win. Ice Wave is a spinner, and therefore it wins.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh no. I don't know.
Okay, randomizer time.
Fuck it. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna go for in this. I am gonna go. Oh god. I'm gonna go for Overhaul. Fuck it.
Let's go. We got the bread.
Because here's my reasoning. Ice Wave was
yeah.
very unreliable this season, and Overhaul was pretty tanky this season. Yes, it lost a few times it died after a few hits to Cobalt, but here's the thing, kinetic energy. If Ice Wave takes one wrong hit, it'll just land on its head, and we don't know how good that Self-Rider is. So that's the only reason I'd go for Overhaul in this. If we had just a little more info to go off of in a 2016 Ice Wave, I'd probably say Ice Wave, but unfortunately we do not.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think one problem,
Ooh,
especially in the
rematch.
2015, 2016 seasons, before the fight night system, a lot of bots got like one or two fights,
Yeah,
so they never showed off how good they really were.
right.
Yeah.
Especially in 2016 season because there were so many bots.
Bite Force only
Yeah.
got Bite Force only got 2 out of its 4 fights aired on TV.
Because it had boring
To be
fights.
fair, it's still on YouTube, so we do have the video
That
of
is
how it did.
that is true.
Like, it's better to have four fights, of which two are not aired, than to have two fights overall.
All right. So
Yeah.
after that very heated debate of Overhaul versus Ice Wave,
Ooh, it was heated.
Oh
we
no,
we now have
gosh.
a battle between two. I'm gonna say full body spinner, even though Ringmaster is kind of a
Ring spin.
the battle of the.
Yeah.
So we have Ringmaster, who is also known for the world's most annoying bot ever, Duck, and
I love Duck.
How do you go from a bot like Ring? How do you go from such an unreliable robot like Ringmaster to literally the most reliable and durable bot there is in Duck in the span of one season?
It's just because it's such an ambitious design. Like he was trying so many things with the Ringmaster.
well, that and Whoops was kind of a Robo
True.
Games design a bit before, I want to say,
Yeah, I
but
mean, and Whoops was also pretty successful. Not
yeah.
successful, but it was
I think it
pretty.
beat
It
Tombstone
showed off its
once. It
durability
I
beat
pretty
call it
well.
Last Rites once.
successful.
It
It
beat
beat
Last Rites
Tombstone
once.
once. It did beat
Yeah.
Last Rites once. It got destroyed by Toro Maximus, but it still worked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Whoops, Duck, they're incredibly reliable bots. And this is why I feel Shredrator would easily win this fight. Shredrator in 2016 did not show any reliable. Other than Chomp, it was a pretty
It
reliable
was
robot.
fairly destructive,
Yeah.
and in fairness, it would have won the Chomp fight if it didn't die.
Shredrator was pretty good in 2016 and 2016. So I would
Yeah.
have to definitely give the win to Shredrator here. Both are powerful, but Shred can definitely survive longer than the Ringmaster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I feel like I feel like it would be a judge's decision. Ringmaster would stop spinning about 30 seconds into the fight. Shredderator would stop spinning about 1 minute into the fight. The fight wouldn't make TV, and Captain Shredderator would win.
Actually, I feel Shredderator would be able to keep the spin up at least for like a
I'd
minute and a
say, yeah, I'd
half to
say
two
half. I'd
minutes.
say, I'd say 90
Because
seconds.
I mean, it's not lasting. I don't think it's lasting the whole fight. Is my
because
point.
Shred
It's not.
no because Shredderator, like if you like against Death Roll, right? It did last a pretty long. I don't remember how long the fight was, but
I'd
it
say
lasted a pretty long time.
I'd say almost
Yeah.
2 minutes. It lasted almost 2 minutes, somewhere around 2 minutes.
Only difference is that Ringmaster is much more powerful, so there's more kinetic energy going around. I would still have to say Shred would last at least a minute longer than the Ringmaster. The
Yeah.
Ringmaster's drive system was also pretty unreliable. I honestly don't see this going to a judge's decision. I think the Ringmaster spinner, as you said, would go down in about 30 seconds, and then after a few more hits from Shredrator, the drive would go on in like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Spin Doctor, what do you got on this fight?
Spin Doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Shred too. This season not as unreliable as others. It did last pretty long against Chomp. It died because not reliability, but Chomp was actually damaging it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Shred Raider
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
based on reliability.
Right.
Well, here's something to keep in mind with Shredderator that people don't talk about is that after season 2, Shredderator primarily fought like pretty good robots. Like
Yeah.
it's fighting like like
It did.
quality
But
robots
the
like
thing is,
Lockjaw.
even when
Endgame.
Shredrator did fight some decent boss like Sub Zero, it did really well,
Yeah.
and then it died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the reliability issues, but a lot of its robots that it fought like Endgame, Endgame
Yeah,
was
that was just
really
bad. That was
way
just
too hard.
unfair.
That was just an unfair draw. Even
Shredrator,
Lockjaw, the first
yeah,
fight in season
the
5.
Logjam, especially in 2020, was pretty unreliable as well. Shredderator definitely improved. Like 2020 Shredderator, is easily one of the most reliable captain generators, especially when you see the generator versus rotator fight. Because, in my opinion, captain generator versus rotator is easily one of the top 3 fights of the entire season. Okay, it's a great
That's a
fight.
good, it's a good
Yeah,
argument.
I
It's a
agree.
really good fight.
Shred was easily, it was throwing rotator all around, and Spinner died in like the last 30 seconds.
If it,
And in my
it's
opinion, Shredderator would have won that fight if it did not burn out in the last 30 seconds.
yeah,
I
it definitely
agree
would've
with
won.
that.
It definitely would have won if it didn't die out like that.
That was a great performance. Hopefully, it does better in 2021. 2016 was probably the other season where it wasn't very unreliable. So I would have to go with Shred here as well. And I think we all agree Shred would win.
Yeah,
Shred
I
would
just
win.
messed
Yeah.
Shred up. All right, so next fight is my favorite bot ever, Stinger, the Killer Bee, versus Lucky. Both.
This is a pretty tough fight.
Yeah,
It
because
really is.
here's the thing. Stinger's main weakness is flipper bots, but here's the thing. Here's the main problem with this. Lucky is not a really, like, great flipper bot. It's decent, but, like, saying, like,
It was okay.
It was okay.
I would say 2016. I would say the problem might be Lucky's ground game because actually it did get underneath beta quite a bit. I would have to go
With only
Lucky
one
with
wedge.
this because 2016 Lucky was probably the most reliable Lucky we've ever seen. Right? Its flipper was not as powerful as it was in 2018, but its drive never died. Even when it was decapitated against Yeti.
Yeah, Yeti had to fuck it
I
up a
don't
lot.
think it
too.
died.
Yeti, it did
Yeah, I
die,
don't
but Yeti
think
had to
it-
fuck it up a lot for it to die.
Yeah, like modern day Lockjaw would easily go down against Yeti, but the fact that 2016 Yeti had to do that much to take down Lucky is a pretty good testament to its durability and reliability, which is why I think Lucky would win this fight. And another thing, Stinger's wheels come off with the slightest breeze, so it would definitely not have enough traction to really push around Lucky as much as it could. And if Stinger, even if the thing is Stinger, if it uses its fork configuration,
It's not
the
necessarily
thing about
strong.
Stinger, yeah, like the thing about Stinger, its lifting mechanism is really fragile. Like in the Bronco fight, Stinger versus Bronco.
Yeah,
Bronco
the
broke
Bronco
Stinger's
broke
lifter
Bronco
with
broke
like
it.
one solid flip. And Lucky in 2016 is arguably more powerful than Bronco in 2015.
Arguably.
So, arguably, I mean, when a Bronco fan says this, yeah, I would have to go with Lucky here. It would be a close fight. It could even be a controversial fight, but I have to go with Lucky.
What does everyone else got?
I was originally thinking Stinger based on driving. I think it would control. However, I remembered judging. I think if Lucky gets in one good flip, or just and controls enough, I think it will win based on the fact it's using its weapon more. Sorry for the alarm. I also think that Lucky might break Stinger's weapon if it gets a good enough flip, and it's just out of weapon then, and aggression and weapon use is really weighted here. So I think I'm gonna go
That's
Lucky
one thing
too.
we have to take into account for 2016, how different the not a judging criteria, but a judging mentality was. Because it was pretty different. Like, as Spin said, if Lucky gets a couple good flips, a couple powerful flips, even if Stinger can like pseudo dominate the rest of the fight, Lucky would probably win. Which again, I don't see that happening. Lucky is probably going to do much better than Stinger here, but the same thing. I would say I would say Lucky wins pretty easily, or not easily, but pretty convincingly here.
Pory, what do you got?
Is Stinger coming back?
I don't think so, man.
Lucky then.
No, you're
No,
wrong.
yeah, I feel like Lucky wins, but it's gonna be a bullshit decision. Like you said, it's gonna be like Lucky tosses Stinger a few times, and that's enough for the judges to be like, "Well, this robot won," and that's pretty much that.
I don't know about that. Because again, Lucky in 2016 was not unreliable enough for it just to get like 2 flips. Unless Stinger can like consistently get underneath.
Well, Stinger's a good driver. It's gonna be hard to get under Stinger. Like,
when you have like Lucky versus Toro Maximus and Robo games, Lucky did a great job of staying lined up. And if he can keep up with Daniel Freitas, I'm pretty sure he can keep up with Matt Maxim as well.
Yeah, I guess that's